in hindsight, what a fucking idiot. I've missed out on 18 years of tax-free savings. 6% might not be exciting, but 6% tax-free for 18 years, it's fucking unbelievable. I mean, it's very interesting what you say, and I'm almost embarrassed to say that some of these concepts are something that I'd only really properly got my head around over the last kind of 2, 3, 4 years. And I say embarrassed, as for someone who spends every day dealing with business and dealing with money, you often do sometimes forget the basics. And the book that was actually a turning point for me in all this, which again for anyone watching or listening to this, you've got to put up there as, for me, one of the all-time, it will become as much of a classic as a Rich Dad Poor Dad or a Think and Grow Rich in a Time, is Tony Robbins' Money Master the Game. Do you know it, Sam?
You know what? I've got that book, but I haven't read it yet. Am I right in saying that's the one that's like,
right?
It's really
that's that, right? Honestly, yeah. And obviously, you in a way, you might think, well, I can't be bothered to read it because you know so much in that space anyway. And it's kind of almost how I felt when I was going to read it as well. But because it does really go back to the basics. But what Tony Robbins is an absolute master at is taking complicated concepts and really distilling them down for the layman. And what he's done in simple, I mean, I'm very oversimplifying what is something like an 800-page tome here, but what he's basically done, he's gone and picked, I forget the number, let's say 20 or 50 of like the world's best wealth managers. Yeah. And we've got people in all different spectrums. So from, let's say, a conservative, like let's say, arguably conservative person like Warren Buffett, who buys and holds, for like his entire life, through to people like, Jack Vogel, from Vanguard, and other names that escape me. All from aggressive traders to day traders to conservative to people who like who like currency, whatever that may be. And he's taken all of the principles and distilled them. But then even these people in very different spaces, what they all ultimately say is that well, you've mentioned 95% of retail traders losing money. I think they almost go as far as to say that 95%, if not more, of professional traders actually lose money. And when you start to layer onto that, the fees and and the inflation and this, that, and the other, the actual stat of anyone being able to beat the market. Either if you're a non-professional, of you being able to beat the market is as good as impossible. And if you are backing most, let's say, professional traders, whose only focus is on churning and taking the fees, that you're probably still behind the market. And that's when I basically, obviously not about compound interest, etc., but that's when I really hit home the power of like tracker funds in the right tax wrapper with compound interest over a period of time. And my view is I spend my day-to-day life doing very aggressive, risky things. Maybe not. I don't feel risky because I understand that space in the same way you don't feel what you do is risky because you understand that space. But I guess for any long-term capital, it's stuff that I don't want to mess around with because I can mess around day to day. So after reading that book, I started to set up ISAs for the first time. I'm thinking at the time, I'll be 36 years old. I'm thinking in hindsight, what a fucking idiot. I've missed out on 18 years of tax-free savings. 6% might not be exciting, but 6% tax-free for 18 years, it's fucking unbelievable. And literally, I went off the back of that book, set my ISAs up, set them up for my daughter, because I'm thinking at the time she'll have been saying 9. I'm thinking even if I just give her $4,000 a year into a kid's ISA for 9 years at 6, 7, 8%, she's almost got a 50% deposit on a house when she goes to uni then. And it's just so simple. And I guess that's why people are interested in it, because it is so simple, because it's not exciting, because you park it and you don't have to touch it and dabble with it every day. But the money that you can make is just phenomenal.